What's going on, everybody? My name is Cole and this is Trans Spirit Indigo. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Thank you to everyone who is subscribed. If you are new here, please make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment. Thank you for all your help with the good old YouTube algorithms. Today I want to talk about healing. This is something that I did not understand. When I started my spiritual journey, I had no idea what the healing part of it really meant. And it's a very important part of the spiritual journey. Everyone's journey is different. All I can speak from are my own experiences in hopes that you can relate and maybe it will help you. Sometimes I'm feeling lost and I will see someone else's video or read something from someone else that helps me to better find what it is I'm looking for, so to say. So I hope this helps you. Let's get into this video. What is healing? I know for a lot of us this means different things, and coming from somebody who is in the modern Western world, I always thought of healing as, you say you break your leg and it's in a cast, or you have the flu and you're in bed hydrating, eating soup and healing. But spiritual healing is very different than this. There's similarities, but in my opinion, spiritual healing is more about inner healing than anything, inner healing of the soul. Now, I don't want to lose you here because a lot of actual physical healing has to do with the inner healing as well. But the thing is that spiritual healing is all about going inward, and this can be done through meditation and breath work. It's about going inward and picking apart the things about us that have just been stagnant, energetically sitting there for a long time, untouched and unhealed. I will, of course, use myself as an example. As a transgender person, I've dealt with a lot of wounds that deal with internalized homophobia. Now, not every trans person's going to go through that, but me personally, a lot of my pain, so to say, a lot of my triggers are directly rooted to growing up thinking that being any form of queer was bad. And I do not believe that anymore, and I stopped believing that a long time ago. What I didn't understand when starting this healing process is that even though I consciously decided that being queer is okay, on a deep subconscious level, I was still holding on to old belief systems that I had running that being queer is bad. And that's where a lot of the internalized homophobia came from. Now, this can mean anything for you guys. Like, you might not be dealing with internalized homophobia, but you could be dealing with just internalized, just pain, things that manifest into your life outwardly. I've heard that if you don't deal with inner child traumas, that they can play out in relationships, and I find this to be very true. I have noticed that a lot of issues that have come up for me in specifically my relationship with my partner, a lot of it is inner child trauma that I hadn't dealt with. So what does it mean? How do you deal with these things? How do you heal? This is what I wanted to get to. Healing can be a lot of different things for different people. But for me, some of the core basics of healing these wounds and letting them go and aligning with your greatest version, it's going to start with meditation. In my experience, when you do the breath work and you go within, that's when you start to connect to source. That's when you start to connect with your higher consciousness, because your higher consciousness has the answers to your questions. It has the answers to the what ifs and hows. So when we tap in, we can quite often see these issues, these shadows come up in our reality. And that gives us the opportunity to sit with it, to ask questions. Why do I feel this way? Like, for me, it was like, why do homophobic people make me so angry? Well, they make me feel invalidated. Why do they make you feel invalidated? You don't feel validated? I guess I don't feel validated. Why do I need other people's validation? It's like question after question. Healing is going to be taking a lot of time to yourself, which it doesn't have to be a scary thing. You don't have to lock yourself away for a long period of time or sit on a mountain, away from society. But just taking time every day to sit with yourself, with your thoughts, That's going to be part of healing. It might sound scary and intimidating to some people, but quite honestly, if that scares you, then you might need it more than you think, because we have to be okay with being alone. It's a part of the whole spiritual process. A lot of great ideas come to us when we are alone. A lot of inspired ideas turn into inspired action. So, and I learned this part from Phil Good, is that when you are triggered, you have to ask why. Like, why is this triggering you? He said that in so many words, not verbatim, but, or maybe he did, but anyway, you have to ask yourself, why is this triggering me? When you start to ask yourself why something's triggering you, that's going to lead to the root of the trigger, to the root of your anger, your pain, and that's where the healing truly begins. So that's one way to start it off. Meditation, going within. Some other things that can help with the healing process is, say, writing a letter, typing out a letter. Or even sometimes if you don't want to write, if you can't write, if you don't have that ability to do that, you can even just speak it into existence. Because words are so powerful, right? Right. When I say, like, okay, I've had some friendships, relationships that didn't work out, much like everyone else. We all experience this in our life. I've written letters to specific people and explained to them why they hurt me and apologized to them for me hurting them. And I have declared that I'm letting it go, that I'm giving it to the universe, because we don't always, it's not always healthy for us to contact these people. And the beauty of it is that everything is energy, so you can still make peace with people and not speak with them. I would not suggest speaking with someone where it's a very unhealthy situation. That's not good. So if it is possible to speak with them, go for it. If it's not, you can always write out a letter and get your feelings and your emotions out. Sometimes I will take a letter and actually safely burn it, because it's a transformation of energy. So when you're writing all this out and say you safely burn it in a fire pit or whatever works for you, where the fire is contained and not hurting anything or anyone, then as you burn it, it's like you're transforming all those words into smoke. It's a transformation, and it's like symbolism of letting it go. And this can greatly help you in the healing process. That's just one thing you can do. You're gonna want to tune into what works best for you. So just please take everything I say with a grain of salt. Our spiritual journeys can be very similar, but they're all unique to us, just like our life is unique to us. So we have meditation, we have writing out emotions, releasing them, speaking it out that you're releasing it, declaring it. There's other things that you do for healing, and they can be a little more obvious, like eating healthy. I just did a video about healthy eating, organic produce, organic food. When you cleanse your body, that is a form of healing. When you make sure to make time for exercise, even if it's just taking a brisk walk, when you get your body moving, that's healing. The biggest form of healing is just overall, it's self-love, baby. It's self-love. And I am somebody who blocked out self-love to the extreme. So self-love is something I will bring up more and more and more on this channel, because I have seen such a great, significant, wonderful difference in my life since focusing more on self-love. I used to think that that was so cheesy and stupid, but I could see that that was my ego trying to fight off self-love. Meanwhile, I was focused on self-hate, and my life was not going anywhere, and I was very unhappy. So this is why I keep talking about self-love, because I want you to feel as wonderful as I do, or as I have, while focusing on self-love. And honestly, not every day is awesome. There are days where it's difficult for me to get out of bed. I think it's very important for us to be real about this, especially anyone who's talking about spiritual work, is that it's very normal to go through those kind of days, and we can't beat ourselves up for it. It's a part of the process. It's like how I explained in another video that sometimes we have to vibe low to work through the shadows to raise our frequency back up. So vibing high might not always work. We aim to vibe high as much as possible, And the more, here's a beautiful thing, the more that you work on the self-love and the shadow work, because shadow work is a part of healing, and shadow work is kind of what I mentioned, to where in the beginning with the meditation, when you go within and the shadows come up for you to heal, you're focusing on these so-called shadows. Like one of my shadows would be internalized homophobia. I have actually been somebody who has been homophobic when I was younger, because I was in the closet. A lot of people who are homophobic could quite possibly be, you know, in the closet. Not everyone, but it's just an example. So I've had to go, and I'm still going within, and I'm having to think of all the times where somebody said awful things about the queer community to me, or when I was young and they told me that gay people burn in hell, so then I was scared to say that, hey, I'm gay, in so many words. Stuff like that is like I'm going back in and I'm focusing on that, and I'm sending love and light to it. And I love to do the Hawaiian mantra, Ho'oponopono. I think I pronounced that correctly. Ho'oponopono. I'm definitely going to do a video about that. This is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And this will be a whole nother video, because this is it's an amazing mantra, and it's extremely powerful and healing. And it's not just saying those words, but it's also taking full responsibility for your life, everything. Even the people that have hurt you, this and that, just taking responsibility for everything and asking for forgiveness, giving forgiveness. So part of the healing is I think back to times where people said awful homophobic things to me, or I said awful homophobic things that was very, you know, self-hatred. I think back to these times and I will say that mantra. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you will see a change in your energy. You will feel lighter, because you can't necessarily go back in time, because time isn't even what we think it is. It's quantum, it's not linear. You can't necessarily go back and like see the change, but you will feel the change, and you will see it in your current now outer reality, because everything that's outside of you is a reflection of what's inside of you. This is huge. It took me many years to understand this, and I'm still wrapping my head around it, because I'm human. But you will start to see the changes when you start doing this healing work. If you have any questions about healing work, please leave them below. I have a feeling maybe I'm missing some things and aspects I could be talking more about, so maybe I'll make a part 2. But for now, those are just some examples on how you can heal. But first and foremost, even just taking 5 minutes of meditation each day, starting it out. Now, I, of course, I'm going to tell you more is always better. But just taking that time out, doing the breath work and going within and tapping into the things that are hurting you, and asking too. Don't forget, when you ask your guides and angels for help, you will receive help energetically. I hope this helps you, and I hope you have a fantastic day, night, wherever you are in this now moment. I have the beautiful sun setting on me here, and it is really cold where I'm at, so I'm gonna go warm up, and I look forward to another video soon.